How's it going, y'all? My name is Doe. Hope you're doing great. In this video, I want to discuss Malkarion's gear. That means its weapons and its armor. And if you guys want to know how to fight Malkarion, I have a guide on that in a separate video. But this video is just about the gear Malkarion can give you. So the first thing I'll talk about is going to be the armor, because it's the easiest thing to discuss. So the armor, you got the standard head, chest, gloves, and feet. But the interesting part is that you can get an ultra armor variant to this set. That's achieved by getting your talent points to 25 at the LAD, which is the Lantern Attunement device. That's near Arcan Drew. And you go to him, get 25 talents from doing escalation and getting XP, and you can get the freaking ultra armor for this armor. It looks pretty nice. It's pretty cool. But the armor itself has one mobility slot on the helmet, and the rest of the gear has technique slots. And that's a good thing. Technique slots are very good, and they have some really good utility and diversity for the cells you can put in them, as in useful cells. But the helmet has a grace stat. Yeah, grace stat, and it also has mobility. So grace is an okay cell. It would be better if at +3 it gave you the bonus, but it doesn't. And to go into what the cell does, while sprinting, gain move speed up to 20%, and after sprinting, gain attack speed equal to Grace's bonus move speed for 10 seconds. So, yeah. So what this means is at +6, you can sprint, and while sprinting, you get 20% move speed, and then after you finish sprinting, you get 20% extra damage for 10 seconds. Now, the bad part is this only really comes into play at +4 to +6. That's the only time you get this damage bonus. And that's not really that good, because no one wants to get +6 of a mobility cell. That's not what you want. And at +3, you don't get a bonus for damage. You just get move speed. So in this case, I wouldn't really use this cell. It's just not that good. But the gear itself is useful, and it'll have uses outside of that. The helmet, not so much. But the chest, you have a technique slot as well as a Aether Hunter stat. And that's not bad. It's just Aether Hunter's not that good on most behemoths, but it does have a use on Riftstalker, and in some cases on Shroud. The gloves are the best gear for this behemoth when it comes to the armor. The glove has a predator stat and technique slot. So overall, these are some of the best gloves you can really get, and this is really nice. If you can play flawless builds, it's really good. If not, no worries, you don't have to. It's just that if you do, it's really freaking good, and it's a good time. And the feet are just like the chest. You have an Aether Hunter stat as well as the technique slot on the feet. But now getting into the weapons. The weapons from Malkarion are best in slot for shock. Now, that's because they're legendary weapons. This is a new thing to Dauntless. I think it might replace exotics. I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on there, but it seems like it's going to be... Maybe it won't replace them, but it's going to be freaking really, really good. These are best in slot for sure, just looking at them. And I'll explain why. So first and foremost, you can notice that the slots on the Malkarion weapons are like a freaking snowflake kind of, or an ornament looking thing. These are called prismatic slots. This means you can equip any cell of any type in this slot. So you could have in this slot a power, technique, defense. It doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want in here. So you could have 2 power cells, a power technique, utility, mobility, doesn't matter. Anything fits in these slots. And that makes it really freaking strong just in that alone. But there's also 2 other things you can do which are really neat. One of them is you have a legendary ability. And this is where on the keyboard you press G. On console, I have no idea what you press. I'll figure it out. Actually, I can do it real quick. Okay, you press LB and RB. So left bumper, right bumper, and that will trigger it. And this is a teleport where this is an ability where you teleport to a behemoth, dealing shock damage and usable once, but resets on behemoth kill. So that means in regular hunts, you can only use this one time. In escalation, you can use this a decent amount. It's not like it's going to be the most amazing thing in the world, but this is a very good mobility tool. It's not the bestest thing in the world for damage, but it's pretty good when it comes to like mobility and just getting around and being quick and getting to a behemoth really fast. For like, so let's say you stagger a behemoth and you want to do some damage to it, this is going to be a good thing to use to get there fast. And it does a decent amount of damage, but the damage itself isn't the big thing, it's the mobility there. Now, the other thing, which is really nice, is that you get a bond. So a bond is where you can select the perk of other shock weapons. So in this case, you have a choice between Nezaga, Stormclaw, and Drask. And for sword, I would pick Stormclaw just because it's better. It's really, really good. You get to maintain your meter really easily and like build it up really fast. It's very good in that sense. And it's best in slot because it's very easy and very modular. It's kind of like repeaters in a sense. Instead of changing the barrel though, you're changing the unique effect of the weapon. So you have to remain using a shock weapon, but you can change and pick which one you want to use, which is the best, and also have the slots you want on the weapon. So overall, it's best in slot for shock, and I assume, and I'm pretty sure, we'll be seeing more of these kind of things in the future for sure. So escalation seems to be like a seasonal event type thing, and the seasonal thing is where it'll change out what behemoth is at the end, I guess, and we'll be seeing different elements, getting more legendary weapons, and things of that nature. So that's my thought on it. I have no idea, I'm not sure, but that's what I'm thinking is going on. Now, to go more in depth into the weapon a little bit, the special ability, the teleport, can be used from a really long distance. That's why I said it's really good for mobility. It can be used from really far away, like really far away. And I'm pretty sure it's based on line of sight. So if you have line of sight of a behemoth, I'm pretty sure you can just teleport to it. And keep in mind that teleport takes a long time to cast. I had the bright idea of trying to interrupt with it, which by the way, it can interrupt, but you will also probably trade because it's really hard to time because it takes forever to cast. So it's gonna be really flashy to use, but you only get one shot, a hunt. So, be careful, be cautious, and give your best shot. Shoot your shot, man, and try and hope to God it lands. Overall, though, it's nice to see this being a thing. You get more buttons to press, even though it is only one extra button in a hunt, unless you're an escalation, in which case you get a couple extra button presses in a hunt. But it's nice to see a little bit more dynamicness to weapons and a little bit more to talk about in terms of just like what a weapon can do and like how complicated the weapons are, just in the sense of building and whatnot. And speaking of building, these weapons will take a lot to even build. So the requirements to get one of these weapons to plus 15 is going to take 150 Peerless Arcstone, 150 Shock Orbs, 21 Peerless Storm Plates, and 5 Shard of Eternal Storm, which Shard of Eternal Storm is an epic drop from slaying a Malkarion, and this is going to be kind of rough to get. And honestly, it's not that bad to craft after I did the number crunching, which was, pretty difficult. Had to bust out the calculator. But after seeing how much it takes to craft, it's not that bad because it starts off at plus 10 once you make it. And that means that you don't need any Shining Arcstone, any Dull Arcstone, none of that. You just get Shock Orbs and Pierce Arcstone, and the rest of it's from doing escalation. So the only thing you really have to do is, Heroic Patrols or Heroic Plus Patrols? That's kind of nice. So if you're at endgame, you can farm it that way. And yes, you do also get Shock Orbs from Heroic Plus Patrols if you have, I think, 20 talents, or no, it's 10 talents in the LAD, which is the Lantern Attunement device near Arcan Drew, because that will make it to where you get 5 Shock Orbs for doing a patrol. So I assume it should apply to Heroic Plus Patrols. If it doesn't, I don't know what to say. Like, it should. So that's kind of nice. It make it to where you don't have to really go back and do the hunts that you don't really want to do. And instead, you can do most of the stuff you want to while doing other stuff that is also near endgame, which is Heroic Plus. So, good weapons. They're nice. The gear is also pretty good. Grace, not the best thing in the world, but the gloves have an amazing slot, so I'll accept it, right? Overall, the gear is really sick. It has Ultra Armor for it, Ultra Look. I'm digging it. Like, this new Behemoth is really good overall. Happy to see it. It's not a Boreas. It's not a Valamir. It's just a good Behemoth. So I'm happy to see that a lot of things went really well with this next update, this next patch. And that is also the end of this video. I've made 4 of these videos today, and I think I'm like losing my mind. And if I sound like I'm talking too fast, I apologize. But that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you want to, make sure to check out the description for ways to support the channel and myself. In doing so, I'd appreciate it. And the best way is to use my credit code OhDough in the Epic Games Store or in the in-game Dauntless store. Costs you nothing, helps me out a ton, and I appreciate it when you use that. And also, I do stream, and I have my own flair on the old Twitch. I have my own flair for Dauntless, so check out the stream sometime, and I hope to see you there. But thanks again for watching, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.